welcome to another Tea Party Tuesday, where it may be a Tuesday, but in my world, it's always a tea party. And we have an amazing guest with us today. The force is strong with this one. Please help me welcome Mckenna Fellows. Mckenna, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I can't believe that I'm sitting across from actually Ahsoka.
Well, you are truly one of my favorite Ahsokas. And Kate Middleton also loves your Ahsoka. But I have to apologize because she really wanted to join our tea party today. But as we just found out, she is expecting a third child. And I heard a rumor that if it's a girl, she could be named Alice.
That would be perfect.
I fully support it. Maybe Alice Ahsoka. Well, okay, so next time we'll have Kate at our tea party. But you are our guest of honor today, and I'm so excited to have you because we met at Star Wars Celebration. I remember I was coming down the escalator, and I wasn't expecting the sea of Ahsokas. Like, there was just Ahsokas everywhere. But one Ahsoka truly stuck out to me. And it was you, because you were dressed not only as Ahsoka, but Mortis Ahsoka. And I've actually, I've said in several interviews, when people ask, what's your favorite Clone Wars episode? Of course I love the finale of season 5, but I also love the Mortis trilogy. And what you did is so creative. I've never seen anyone do Mortis Ahsoka. So first of all, tell us how you came up with Mortis Ahsoka, and then tell us about your Ahsoka costume.
When I started doing costuming, it all started, I think, with Halloween. It was always a big deal at my house. So I was Ayla Secura and Shock T when I was like 9 and 10. I made those costumes. So it's no surprise that I ended up here.
You made your costumes?
Yeah, Ayla Secura was blue pantyhose that I wore backwards on my head and stuffed them, and Shock T was pool noodles that my dad helped me use a hot knife and kind of carve them into montrals and Naku.
That's so cool.
So I've improved a little bit since then, hopefully.
A little bit, yeah.
I just have a love for everything that goes into these shows and all the details. So with Ahsoka, like, my favorite detail was her Padawan braid. So mine actually does come off. So.
That's amazing. I didn't see that in Celebration.
I don't get to show it off too much, but that's one of my favorite details. So when I was thinking what to bring to Celebration,
I just remember the scene where she hands it back to Anakin and says, "I know."
I will own up, I cried a lot, and I rewound it and I cried again. It was such a good episode.
Did that just go on by a magnet?
Yes, it's a little magnet clasp.
Okay, that's so clever.
That's kind of the first detail I had, and it was an easy transition being at Celebration where I just made the dagger of Mortis, and I made the shackles she had on her wrist that were broken, just put those over the bracers, and did a new paint job the night before, and then rolled out and tried to be creepy for 2 days. It was amazing, so.
Wow, well,
really
cheers to your amazing Ahsoka costume.
Thank you.
And, every tea party we have to have some sweets, so
yes.
We should dive in. We have some chocolate chip cookie whoopie pies, some brownie cookie whoopie pies, some chocolate mints, and some candy corn. So definitely dive in. I know, I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. So, I can confirm. I can't confirm much with Ahsoka, but I can confirm Ahsoka has a sweet tooth. Mm-hmm. Or maybe Ashley, but sometimes we're one and the same. Tell me about the Rebel Legion, because you are Ahsoka in the Rebel Legion, right?
I am. I was actually approved about a year ago.
Wow.
So like this week, I think, actually.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it's something that I never thought I would be involved in because, I'm not a seamstress, I'm not a prop maker, I don't know how to do any of these things, I just kind of wing it.
Wow.
To go from here to full Ahsoka takes no less than 3 hours.
Wow.
So it's definitely a process, but I love doing it, so.
How does one even go about joining the Rebel Legion? Like, how did you do it?
So it starts off with a lot of research, a lot of how am I going to do this, especially with the headpiece. I remember watching the Clone Wars for the first time, and I was only in maybe season 2 or 3, and I was like, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to make this costume. Where do I even start? Because I fell in love with the character so quickly. So for me, I kind of started with the parts that I thought would be kind of easier. So the tunic and the leggings, the boots and my bracers are actually foam colored and leather, and they all have magnets that hold the clasps down. So, and so does her little communicator. I can pop that off.
That's
when I need
awesome.
to. And so then it came to the headpiece, and luckily,
Yeah, let's talk about the headpiece. Let's bring her over here.
They're over here.
Ahsoka can join our tea party now officially, because this headpiece is so well done.
Thank you. It's been through a lot, and it's still looking pretty good. This is my headpiece number 2, I believe. Oh wait, no, 3. So it's definitely gone through some revisions. How I make mine is pretty low budget because I would love to learn how to do all the, silicone molding and all that one day, but it's just like the funds and the space I don't have right now. So I try to find cheaper and easier solutions, and then I share it with anyone because I get so many messages on Instagram and Facebook about how do I do this, how do you do body paint, where did you get your sabers? And I'm like, I made them. They're literally made out of foam and popsicle sticks.
Can I see?
Yeah.
These are made out of foam and popsicle sticks?
And PVC parts, so it's super low tech.
What?
But it gets the job done. So the headpiece itself.
This is amazing.
Thank you.
You are so humble because you are so talented. Like, I can't believe how well all of this is made.
It's been definitely, like I keep saying, a learning process. And I tell people who just want to ask for commissions all the time, it's like, I would love to help you out and make stuff, but I encourage you to always try first.
Yep.
You learn so much, and even if it doesn't turn out perfect the first time, I can tell you my first set of lightsabers were awful. My first headpiece was awful. I was walking around like the Hunchback of Notre Dame because it was heavy, it was rigid. This one at least has some flex to it, so I can turn a little bit. Still not great, but pretty good for what it's worth. So this one, unlike my very first one, it's actually expanding foam from about here down to my ears. You're supposed to use it for like household plumbing and normal uses, but I spray it all over this and then carve it down to this shape. And then from about my ears down, it's batting and interfacing that you're used for quilting, just stuffed with pillow stuffing and hot glued onto the base and then covered all in like a stretchy lycra fabric. That's probably the hardest part, is draping it. And then you sew it and then cover it in liquid latex and paint it.
I'm so impressed. Now, we were talking when you got here about Ahsoka and what she means to you. How old were you when Ahsoka first came out in Clone Wars?
So I was in 8th grade, and it was kind of odd because I never saw it. And I had loved Star Wars so much. I knew the original trilogy when I was like 4 years old. So I actually watched Clone Wars when I graduated college. And I just finally sat down and I watched the show, and I was blown away. I was like, why did I not watch this when it first came out? I was so excited to see not only Anakin getting an apprentice, but a female apprentice who was very much like him. She had attitude, she wasn't by the book, she was extremely talented. She was tough but passionate, and I was like, this is a really awesome character. The things she went through in the show, I was definitely feeling like, oh, well, this kind of relates to what I'm going through right now with life. It's like even the season 5 finale where she had known something for her whole life, and then she's forced to make this change. And coming out of college and deciding, like, do I want to move for a job? What do I want to do with my life? Like, I've known school and my family for this, years. And now it's time to kind of just make a decision for me. So that really helped me kind of, like, what would Ahsoka do? I know it sounds silly, but it gets people through some of the tough days,
Yes, no, it doesn't sound silly at all. Actually, one of the main reasons I started her universe was because I did ask myself, I saw these girls being bullied because there was no community for fangirls. And I thought, somebody's got to stand up for us fangirls. And I asked myself, I said, what would Ahsoka do? And I said, Ahsoka would stand up for fangirls. That's what she would do. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I love that you say, what would Ahsoka do? Now, you've achieved so much, but I like to ask all of my guests the same question. My favorite Alice in Wonderland quote is, why sometimes I've believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast. So, what is one impossible thing you're believing in today?
Oh, my gosh, the fact that I'm even sitting here, honestly, because I'm just a fangirl, and it's just, I'm still kind of geeking out that I'm even sitting here.
Well, I am geeking out to be talking to you because any fan of Ahsoka's is a friend of mine. And Mckenna, I can't thank you enough for your time today and for sharing your story of Ahsoka, you know, with us here today and with our audience at home. And Mckenna, I hope you will always stay curious. You at home as well. And 1, 2, 3, Ahsoka lives.